Okay, so we're here to record a focus, but we have no booze because we forgot to buy it. But we're still going to get hype because we're talking about how cats are going to take over the world. Ordinarily, this is when I pour myself a drink, as Brad explained the premise of the video. But I can't do that, so do you want to just explain it while I stand here awkwardly?
So the idea of today's video is talking about how cats could take over the world, like they've got their own, what is it, headquarters?
Yeah, cats would do it their own way. So we've talked before about how reptiles would take over the world, how dogs would take over the world, sea creatures, birds, but I think cats, they wouldn't do it through force, because cats, like, they're quite wily creatures, like they're known for their guile, their stealth. So I don't think an animal takeover involving cats would be like a violent overthrowing of humanity. I think it would be a surgical strike to the jugular, presumably starting with every domestic house cat in the world simultaneously slitting the throat of its owner at once, because you know cats would do it. Like, would you, like, you've got cats and you look them in the eyes and you think, in a heartbeat, this thing would kill me. And the only reason it sticks around is because I feed it. It's like, Nisha, it's happening. You've been one of the first victims of the cat takeover.
It's one of the things where they look all cute and cuddly and fuzzy, but they're really smart creatures, so
yes.
They're just plotting to kill you.
At all times. I think the way I've heard it put is the reason cats are so angry is because they're nature's perfect killing machine, and we keep trying to pick them up. And that's pissing off. So I think the first thing that would happen if cats took over the world is just immediately every person who owns a domestic house cat is fucking dead when the cats simultaneously slit all. So I'm sorry, Nisha, you're gone. You're a casualty of this war before it even begins. And I'm just now thinking, like, what would the cats use? Because, like, cats don't have much in terms of muscle, save for like tigers, lions, and cheetahs, do they?
Yeah.
And like, what role would each of the big cats serve, do you think? So, because obviously, like, tigers and lions would have to be the, like, the muscle. They'd be like, the shock troops, the ones that, go into battle first. And the little house cats, they're the spies. They've got to be the spies. And then you have, like, the in-between cats, like the lynxes, the panthers. So, like I said, it's going to be a battle fought with stealth.
Yeah.
Because cats are well known for their bit, like, it's like they are...
Like ninjas.
They are, yeah. All the cats would be ninjas. Like, all wooded areas would instantaneously become off limits to all humans, because you don't know how many fucking tigers are in there. Right, and the thing is that you think we'd be safe in England, but we're not. It's got the beast of fucking Bodmin Moor to worry about, haven't we? Which, for people who don't know, do you want to explain that to Americans who might not know? Like, what the beast of Bodmin Moor is?
It's just basically a myth about this panther that lives down south or something
and it just stalks the moors and eats people. And obviously, as a result, all cats from myth, legend and fiction are fair game to be drafted into the cat army. And I'm just now thinking, like, if the beast of Bodmin Moor was real, I'd be fucking terrified to leave my house. Because every few years, you see in the news, oh, it's been spotted again. And it's like a blurry photo, and they have like some expert come in and say, oh yeah, I judge it to be about 14 foot long. So what the fuck is this?
14 foot
It's
long?
not, boy. It's nothing. It gets made up. It's like, it's our version of Bigfoot, so people swear it's real. And you know what? Cats taking over the world, it's fucking real. And the beast of Bodmin Moor, so some legends spring up around it.
Because cats are known to be quite smart creatures.
As we mentioned, like, it's stealth that they probably win by.
Yeah, I think they'd be more tactical. They
would.
wouldn't like use muscle or strength or anything like that. They would plan stuff, like
that's
sort of
the thing.
secret agents.
I think a war with cats would be like a war with Skynet in Terminator, where humanity doesn't even know that Skynet's planning to fight it, and it just starts when every nuke in the world goes off and kills like 3/4 of the population instantaneously. And what I'm imagining is there would be a council of cats, where all, like, the famous legendary cats from fiction plan. I want to ask you now, Nisha, who would lead the council of cats? What fictional cat would command enough respect to be able to, like, lead this army to victory?
I'm thinking you'd need a cat that could talk.
Yes, because even though it could be understood by its brethren, it needs to be understood by humanity. It needs to tell us, like, this is what's happening, deal.
Yeah. So there's like a couple of choices, really. You could go with Salem from Sabrina.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Salem, he's too power hungry. Yeah. I don't think he has, like, the tactical ability. He's got the ambition, certainly, because he wants to take over the world. And he has the ability, if he managed to turn back human, at which point it'd be fair game for the cat. But I don't think he's cut out to be a leader. He'd be more in, like, an advisory role, which would largely be ignored, because his advice would always be, take over the world, take over the world. So we need a wiser cat than Salem to lead, I feel.
Would you think Mr. Tinkles from Cats and Dogs?
Again, like, you can't fault his ambition. Again, take over the world, but he fails in those movies. Like, he is not a tactical leader. He's too think it's ego. And I think Aslan is the only choice. We know he's got experience commanding an army. So he obviously commands the armies of Narnia. And we know that he has the ability to rally different peoples with different ideas to his cause through sheer force of personality. And I'm now imagining, like, I sat on the Council of Cats, like on his big throne, but above even Aslan would be a mural of Mufasa in the clouds. The wisest of all the cats gone before his time. And they'd all pledged to it, and they'd also had a meeting. So who would be sat on this council advising Aslan on his next move? So we've already said we've got Mr. Tinkles, we've got Salem. There are several other cats from fiction who, while not having any magical powers or the ability to speak, do have experience on how to run, you know, a criminal empire or take over the world. And we have Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers, who worked with Dr. Evil. We have, I'm not sure, Blofeld's cat from James Bond, you know, who Mr. Bigglesworth is based on. And then we have the Godfather cat that Marlon Brando, you know, has on his lap. And all of those cats have intimate first-hand knowledge of how to run an evil empire and or criminal enterprise. And the thing is that we need a translator. Is there a cat from fiction who has the ability to interact with other creatures who can't speak? Because obviously in the Cats and Dogs universe, all cats and dogs can talk.
Yeah.
And there's no saying that when obviously you brought a normal cat into their world, they could communicate with them properly.
The best fictional cat for that would be Meowth then, because he can communicate with both.
He can, because he can communicate with Pikachu and all the other Pokemon who can't speak. Which means that he has the innate ability to understand the cries of wild fucking animals, which in our world would include ordinary cats like Mr. Bigglesworth, and there he has it. And that way you have the combined knowledge of like the Godfather, Blofeld, and Dr. Evil, and the inner machinations of their like evil criminal empires at your disposal. Oh, so good. Meowth will be the translator.
Squirtle, both of these humans belong to Meowth.
Belong to?
They'll never trust you two.
So we have the organisational and the translation side sorted, but this council needs more cats. There need to be more voices in this room to guide Aslan towards victory. So are there any other cats you think? I'd say we need someone who's more diplomatic. Like, what cat could be more diplomatic, you know, to help the diplomatic side? Because obviously all the cats on that side are going to like take over the world, kill everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not the way Aslan's going to do things. Yes, I feel like we need like a voice of reason to guide Aslan. It's like, you know, the gentle guiding hand that, you know, turns him away from genocide somewhat, because that's what Salem would want.
Could use Tigger, maybe.
Tigger's probably a good one, because he could be a positive guiding hand for Aslan, so he doesn't steer as hard into taking over the world in the most violent manner possible, which is, I'm guessing, what all the other cats would want. And in that vein, we'll say like Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes. I don't think they would be on the council. They would be like religious advisor types, where like Aslan takes into account their advice, but ultimately the decision's his. And they're just like the ones who whisper in his ear. Like, this council needs some muscle. So I'm going to say Shere Khan. As much as we expect Aslan to like try and take over with diplomacy, as well as just a surgical strike on all throats at once, he does need some protection. So Shere Khan is his assassin, his personal assassin. He's going to obviously you have the Royal Guard.
Yeah.
And the leader of the Royal Guard has to be Puss in Boots with his little hat. And his little boots now have to be gold, because fuck it, this is my imagination. So who would be on the Royal Guard protecting, like, you know, the Cat Council? What cats would Puss in Boots have under his command, in addition to, like, you know, Shere Khan? So I'm thinking maybe Shiva from Walking Dead, the big tiger from that. I'm thinking Battle Cat from He-Man, just throws off his master and just joins the fray on the side of the cats. So who else can be on this elite squad of Royal Guards, tasked with protecting, like, you know, King Aslan?
I think those ninja cats from Cats and Dogs.
No, I think you mean the really racist ninja cats from Cats and Dogs, because that accent is not fucking, that has not aged well. Please put a clip in of that.
Butch, what do I do?
Thing is though, where do you fall on the line of like most racist cat? So I know it's got nothing to do with it, but the ones in Cats and Dogs, they're bad, but I sometimes wave like, is the ones from, is it Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah, the Siamese ones.
The Siamese cats, is it they sing We Are So Siamese?
Yeah.
They might, like, I think they even have like the buck teeth in.
We are Siamese, if you please.
Yeah.
Then you have like the Aristocats, where they have that brief interlude in one of the songs with the buck teeth, and then they play with the chopsticks.
Oh my god, I forgot about
So what's
that.
the most racist cat?
Shanghai, Hong Kong, Fuyang. Fortune cookie always wrong.
Do you know what? This should have been the focus. Which cat is most? Which fictional cat is most racist? Oh, you know what? They can all join in. I'm going to put all those cats on this royal guard because I hope they get killed in the first 5 minutes of the battle. Because those cats do not make the rest of catkind look good. I know we talked about taking over humanity, but that's just racist, man. Don't do that. I know who's going to be on this royal guard. So we've got Puss in Boots, like, you know, master of the sword, but you want the master of the fist, and who better than Tai Fu? From the old PS1 game, like Tai Fu Legend of the Fist, where you play as a Kung Fu tiger who fights like with Kung Fu. And I wanted to wear armour like he's in a Dynasty Warriors game or some shit, as he's just stood, the silent sentinel, just watching over the battlefield as it happens. Just like, oh no, Tai Fu has entered the battle. You'd have to team up though. What's the cat who does Kung Fu from Kung Fu Panda?
I can't remember the name, but yeah, Kung Fu Panda cat.
The Kung Fu Panda cat. They can be like, they can train the forces.
Yeah.
Like Tai Fu will be the lead, the trainer, because he knows like the hidden martial arts, so does she. And they just like I said, they make the most powerful couple in the world. So we've got the Council of Cats, we've got the people who protect them. So we know now they have the organisational skills and just the knowledge and ability to, like, you know, launch this first strike on humanity. And I think it's under the leadership of Aslan, guided by all those other cats, there's no way they can lose. So let's say the cats have taken over and we are under their rule. Who do the cats put in charge of propaganda? Who do they have on the TV telling humanity it's not all that bad? And there's a guy who sells Frosted Flakes.
Oh, Tony the Tiger, of course, yeah.
Can you imagine? You get the thing like, hey humans, I know you're all toiling in our underground sugar mines, but you know what? It's great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's what you have. Like, you're just there and there's just like all the cats overseeing humans, just like, you know, toiling away to, like, you know, build yarn balls for them and stuff like that. And you just got like Tony the Tiger in like hologram form, just booming over cityscapes saying, they're great! Like that scene in Futurama where Bender builds the giant statue himself.
There's also that episode in Futurama where cats, I guess they do take over, sort of. They're from a different planet.
Okay.
And their planet stopped rotating, so then they go to Earth to steal the Earth's rotation. And once again, you have a fluffy white cat that's in charge.
Leading everything. You know what? That cat can also be on the Council of Cats.
Bring them in.
That's a strong fucking cat right there, but oh my god, that's so good.
And they come in like a little cat head alien spaceship.
Yeah, they can be on the council too. Just the idea though, we're just there. It's like in the field, like, no, creating milk and stuff like that. And just giant Tony the Tiger holograms just over cityscape blaring. It's great. And you can just imagine like an old Tony the Tiger sat in a wheelchair looking out over his window going, this is not what I wanted it to become. The thing is that there'd have to be a cat resistance. Humanity would not take this lying down. Like, who do we send in to, like, you know, try and take him down? Because there would be some human sympathisers amongst these cats. The first among them being Tony the Tiger. I think he would see how his image was being used and try and help us. But like, do we have any like cats who could help us? Like, you know, try and take back the world.
The one that comes to mind, I don't think it's actually got a name. It's just known as the Cat in the Hat.
The Cat in the Hat?
Yeah, because in the actual films, he is there to help like the kids.
In the Cat in the Hat, he would help us.
They create a mess and stuff, and he basically uses some sort of magic to
and you know what? Half of humanity being wiped out is a pretty fucking big mess that we need help cleaning up.
You know, he'd be able to help. Hopefully.
Oh, man. The thing is, I think as well, we'd have a spy in the last best hope of humanity being Professor McGonagall.
Oh, of course.
We'd have Professor McGonagall who could turn into a cat and sneak in, and then Mrs. Norris, Filch's cat, 'cause that is a cat that is just so dedicated to their master, I don't think they'd betray him. And I think they would infiltrate, you know, like the Council of Cats alongside Professor McGonagall, and they'd have to take out Aslan. And without the wizened leadership of Aslan, I think the cats would just descend chaos amongst infighting. It's like they're such naturally selfish creatures. And they'd all like turn apart, and obviously once that collapse, then it's just a matter of get a big broomstick and the jungles will still be off limits. They belong to the tigers, but you know what can happen. Just imagine that now, just assassin Mrs. Norris. It's like McGonagall casts a spell on Mrs. Norris to put a bomb inside her. Just Mrs. Norris goes up to like Aslan and he's like, oh, what can I help you with? Like, do you like Daenerys when she's getting like this public, where she invites the public to come, like, you know, air their grievances to her, and Mrs. Norris just explodes. just looks back and you see Filch looking through the window like this as Mrs. Norris just detonates like that wheelchair in Justice League. Just takes everybody out.